First of all, Sharon, congratulations by this amazing new album, Bleed Out, and by the brand new single of Fools Parade. But above all, congrats on having the courage to tackle such a difficult subject, the war in Ukraine. How important is this attitude from within the nation?
Well, I think it's very difficult to separate your music from who you are as a person, of course. And seeing this happening in Europe, an invasion by Russia into the Ukraine, and Kiev is only 2 hours flight home. And so it feels really in my backyard that this war is happening. And seeing the propaganda from Russia, setting up the European countries towards each other instead of that we are trying to stick together, but the propaganda does get to certain countries like Slovenia and Hungary and some others, and also in our own country there is this year we voted apparently as a country for far right, which I don't understand, but it's and that party also is very much has a lot of same ideas as some other countries which are pro-Russian. And not to say that our country is pro-Russian at all, but I think there was a vote against that people weren't satisfied with the government that we have and thought it could be like a protest vote. But yeah, to me that's pretty stupid, because it will, it's in many countries now that people start to vote for right parties, and because they're fed up with the government how it was, and because things didn't go perfect, of course, but on the other hand, to start voting for far right is another thing, so but we are as a country very supportive of the Ukraine, but it's more like the propaganda does reach certain people also in our country, and that worries me because I think we should stand shoulder to shoulder to help Ukraine.
Great. And what was the experience of making the music video for a Fools Parade in the capital of a country at war, Kiev, Ukraine?
Well, I was never scared to go there because I was in good hands, to my opinion. We were helped to do this video and to organize everything what we wanted to do in Kiev by the organization called Music Saves Ukraine. And they told us about the app that you need to have, for instance, if you go into Kiev, which we did by night train from Poland, because there's no commercial flights from Amsterdam to Kiev anymore. So we had to go by night train from Poland to Kiev. And you have to have, they told us to download an air alert app, because everyone in Ukraine has that, and you can select a region that you are in, and any incoming dangerous drones or airplanes like MiGs carrying a supersonic bomb or anything, they will put that in the app, and you know what the danger is and how much time you have to go to a shelter. And there's shelters everywhere, even in the hotel that I was. And we once had to go underneath the metro station because there was a MiG on their way, and sometimes it has a bomb, sometimes it doesn't. It's just like sometimes just looking and scouting where they can do something with the next airplane. And this time it wasn't wearing any supersonic bomb, which was good for us because it can wipe out a complete area in a matter of seconds. And it's so anyway, but it's strange to be there because normal life continues in Kiev for 90%, to my opinion, when I was there, because when I left, the bombing was actually intensified by Russia on Kiev. But they have a good air defense system, which most rockets and bombs don't hit Kiev itself, but the debris, of course, does, and the pieces of that, of the thing that they are trying to attack them with, is coming still down on buildings, and buildings do get hit, and also bystanders. But if you know in time that they're coming, then you can go to a shelter. Most of the time it goes okay. So I wasn't scared because I knew this knowledge up front. And yeah, it is when the air alert goes off, and when you see you know, military people walking in the streets, it's a different picture than the rest of Europe, of course.
Interesting. And Sharon, sometimes the musician writes a song to express something that is in the content of the lyrics. And two questions here, please. Does this happen to you in your entire career? And especially about a Fool's Parade, what came first? What came first, the music or the lyrics?
Oh, good question, because this song has been written quite some time ago when there was already something going on with Russia and Ukraine. This was written actually during the time of Resist, and it didn't fit in that album. So we left it for what it was. And to be honest, I don't remember what was first, but I think it's a combination always. It's like you feel the music and it has a certain vibe. And like the Bleed Out album, for instance, every time that we went into the studio, something had happened that day that, you know, as a musician, you get inspired to write certain guitar lines or certain notes, you know, and I'm singing completely the lines and the emotion towards that. So it always connects somehow, because you're talking about it in the morning, like, you know, what a terrible news there was again on the television and on the newspapers, and you start writing just thinking, okay, we talked about it, now it's out of my system, but it's never out of your system. It comes back through music.
Okay, and considering this idea, the medium communication is the message. Does anything change when you write a song for a single and not for an album? And often it will be listened on streaming platforms and no longer on CD or vinyl. Does anything change?
To be honest, it doesn't, because you want to make every song, of course, as good as possible and as special as possible. And we just, and a lot of times when we're writing, we don't even know yet if it's going to be a single or just a song on the album. And therefore, we treat every song the same.
Okay, and tell us, please, about the donation of all royalties from the single of Fool's Parade to the Music Saves UA Foundation.
Yes, well, this is an organization that helped us to do the video there, and also prior to the video, we were actually in the beginning of this year, and also last year we already had contact. Well, this goes way back to 2020 actually. We were supposed to play at Atlas Festival, and that didn't happen because the war broke out, because Russia invaded Ukraine, of course. And so they asked us to do like an acoustic song from our home, and like a marathon with a lot of other artists, and it was going to be broadcasted through many channels throughout Europe and the world. And we participated with that and stayed in contact, like, okay, they asked us if we ever want to do something in the future again with them. I said, of course, because we're supporting Ukraine. And then they asked us, like, ending of last year or beginning this year, I'm not sure, if we wanted to come to Ukraine, because they want to keep music alive in Ukraine, because it's very important. Maybe you know, show us around what music does for children, but also for musicians, and next to the fact that they try to help people through music, people that have PTTS, but also they do humanitarian help, like they give things that people need, like refugees, like all kinds of stuff. And so they do several things. They try to keep the music alive among the musicians of the Ukraine, but also from outside, to maybe do something for the musicians that can do something for the country itself. And so we felt like this is a good organization to give our royalties to as the duration of the war, so they can, because they need funding, of course, to do all this good work.
Great. And Sharon, I have to admit, I ain't an old fan of Within Temptation. I'm a new fan. Of course, I've always heard about the band, listened to the singles, but last year I dedicated myself to a deep listening to the entire discography. Can you see? I got all the CDs, since the beginning, and I was really, really impressed by the wide variety of musical languages, and I think it was good. I love it. But I think that have you ever been pressured by the music industry or some fans to keep the band sounds within straight limits? And what do you think about it?
Well, you know, if we could, we might do it, but it's not possible for us because you know, there's always something new happening, new sounds, you know, you can use for your music, but also new developments. And music feels outdated very fast, like fashion, you know. Not that music is fashion at all, but more like it is like, you can compare it a bit in that way. And you don't want to, you know, you don't want to be sound outdated, of course. And so we're always inspired by new sounds to write again, and we need that inspiration to energize ourselves to write a new song, because writing new music is a lot of times takes a lot of energy, and to have something new to work on, and the idea that you can write something completely new is very appealing to us, and that inspires us every time to write something new and sound differently also. And we like the progression ourselves. I'm glad I don't sound like the band that we were in when we started, but it's a natural evolution, I guess, when you listen the album after the album. But if you start comparing the first one with this one, the latest one, there's big differences, of course. But yeah, we as persons also change. I think I'm not the same person when I started, and so I think you can see it also like a personality change, like growing up a bit.
Yeah, but we can notice an identity. It's so good. And but what's the challenge of adding new influences, new inspirations after having an established musical personality?
Well, it's always a challenge, of course, and it's always also a risk. But we like taking risks, and you know, it keeps us in meaning, like feeling alive. Like I said, it's for us a necessity. It's not even a choice, but it's a necessity to stay inspired. So it's yeah, it's what it is.
Okay. And just a curiosity about a song from this album, Bleed Out. I'm talking about The Purge. Just a curiosity, Sharon, any special feelings when you recorded this song? Because I don't know exactly why, but there's a wonderful vocal performance here. Can you say something about this song?
Well, it's about inner struggles, and also that you need, like I said, like as a person you change, and a lot of time the world around you doesn't want to change because people in general don't like change. They want to keep everything the way it is. But sometimes to move on your own demons, but also to move on and develop yourself as a person, you need to, well, come to terms with certain things that happen in life and who you've become also, and maybe the bad choices you sometimes made, and also facing that so you can come to term to it with it. And that's what the song is about. So it's a bit tormented song.
Yeah, it sounds so great. And I got this version of Bleed Out is an European version. But do you know if is there a plan for releasing this album in Brazil on CD and on vinyl?
Isn't hasn't it been done yet? I'm not sure. It's not available in your country,
No, no.
but
This,
version, it's not
yeah,
at all
I bought by internet. It's
on the
from
internet.
it's from your country. It's from Netherlands. This look to
Okay, well, let me inquire about that because I don't know. I thought it was already released also in everywhere, but it's okay. So you see that I'm not always up to date with everything that happens. So I thought this was also a release for your country, but unfortunately, but I'll check into that.
Okay, and I know you are an Iron Maiden fan, and this channel has a lot of them. Can you could please rank your top 3 of favorite Iron Maiden albums and why?
Oh my God, you know, that's Kill Your Darling time. And to be honest, I'm really bad at titles. But yeah, you can. I think and the last one was really good, but I also like the older albums as well. So it's and I'm not really an album person. I would really go for the songs more, like Run to the Hills. You know, it's like, but so many others. God, let me see. Can I look up my Spotify list, because that's my help. Let me see which ones. I'll tell you in a second, because
Oh,
like I said, I'm really bad at titles. So before I say a song that I don't really like that much and actually like other ones better, Iron Maiden. Yes. Oh gosh. Fear of the Dark, of course.
great.
Aces High, but that's The Trooper. Run to the Hills, like I said. Hallowed by Thy Name. Yeah, well, you know, there's so many, but also from the new album, which is not on this particular one.
Did you like it, the last album, Senjutsu?
Sorry?
Did you like it, the newest Iron Maiden album, Senjutsu?
I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I do. And I haven't seen the new show yet, but I did see something on the internet passing by, and then I was like, wow, it looks like spectacular again.
Great. Only more 2 questions. When we listen, talking about the musical culture, when we listen a Brazilian band like Sepultura, we can notice the Brazilian culture in their sound.
Yeah, the rhythm and everything. Yes, totally.
Yeah, not only the drums, but the guitarists and the bass player have a percussion way to play. And is it possible to say about Dutch culture influencing Within Temptation?
Dutch culture wouldn't. No, I don't think there's anything Dutch in our our music. No, I think it's very. Although there's a lot of bands coming from the Netherlands actually that had, of course, a similar kind of sound that we have. So that's something in the water, I guess. We have the melancholy, but you know, no, it's not typically Dutch. If you will listen to the Dutch folk, it's really terrible. So we don't have anything. But I'm very proud of my country, but it's not my kind of music, though.
And in your side project, My Indigo, are there any Dutch influences in those
No,
songs?
nothing at all. No, you don't want to hear Dutch influences. The really Dutch is really singing in Dutch, and it's a bit Schlager.
Okay, and Sharon, Within Temptation will be at the Summer Breeze Festival in Brazil
Yes.
in April.
Woo.
What can Brazilian fans expect from your show at the Summer Breeze Festival?
Well, we're gonna play something old, something new, and especially from the latest album, we're gonna play some songs, but also some older songs, of course, because I think we haven't been around in your country for 10 years at least. So it needs to be a mashup of all kinds of songs from different albums, and I hope you'll appreciate what we have picked out for you guys. And yeah, it's always difficult to sometimes match certain albums because it's such a mashup of different styles, and you're like, it's quite a different thing. And try to make a set list that works with all songs all together is sometimes really like a puzzle. But I think I've made a nice puzzle, and I hope to surprise you guys.
Great, I will be there. Sharon, I'm really thrilled talking to you, but our time is over here. And thank you for your time. See you in Summer Breeze. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much. See you in Summer Breeze, and thank you. Your English is perfect, so thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye bye. See you.
Bye bye. Thank you. See you.